All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with
Yes.
part two of this interview with Anitra Perry. And of course, we are having an interview talking about entrepreneurship. Towards the end of the last video, she talked about the pros and the cons of being an entrepreneur and the different things that she has to deal with as an entrepreneur. And so, of course, this is Coach Steele's Finance Training. That is my YouTube channel, Coach Steele's Finance Training. So make sure that you like, subscribe, share, and comment with someone. Show this information. We're talking with an entrepreneur that does have product. And so if you missed the first session, go back and click and watch the first session and then come back to this one. That way you can see where we are. I'm going to have her reintroduce herself again.
Hello, I am Anitra Perry, and I'm the proud owner of Posh Lifestyle Company. It is a self-care and wellness brand, and it is all about encouraging you to treat yourself right, to make yourself, your health, your well-being a priority in the most healthiest way possible. I'm also his sister.
Yes. So if you missed the first interview session, like I said, go back and watch it, and we'll catch you back up on a few things. If you missed about the scent, about grandmother's purse, what is it called? Grandma's purse?
Grandma's pocketbook.
Grandma's pocketbook, and of course the hand grabs
Yes,
with the peppermints and things like that. So make sure you tune in and catch that. But I'm excited about the second part of this interview to talk about the life of an entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
We discussed the pros and the cons.
Yes.
And one thing I wanted to touch on is when you are making products and they aren't selling immediately, as an entrepreneur, it causes you to front the money.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Okay, first of all, when y'all don't buy, shame. No, I'm just kidding. These are like our little babies, okay? We take time. So when it comes to developing a product, so when I had an idea to make a candle and I decide, you know what, it's not enough just for it to smell like strawberry. I want it to look like a strawberry dessert. So I decide, okay, I need what supplies, what materials, and how much time is it going to take to do each part. And as with my candles, there are usually 2 and 3 parts to making the physical candle and then the labeling and all of that. So you take into account your time, the expenses of each material, because obviously there's wax, there's a fragrance, there are wicks. And then as far as doing the details of the whipped cream and making the fruit and the flowers, so you have to take that all into account. And then once it's all done, or you think it's all done, you also have to, with candles, there is an instant gratification. There is a curing time. Also, you have to test the wicks because you can't just buy any wick. All the waxes are different. The wicks react to the fragrance and the wax differently. So whereas this may have a certain type of wick, this wick may be a different size, I'll say, a different number. So there's a lot of testing expense when it comes to testing with candles. And so,
my goodness, we just went through a science class. And
get your lab coats.
Yeah, so part of being an entrepreneur causes you to do research. You may have to be a scientist.
Yes.
Because you got to get in the lab to put all the right chemicals or what I call ingredients in here to create just this product alone. So you can't just throw something together and then put it out.
Absolutely not. Oh my goodness. No, you don't want to do that. you will definitely not get the desired results. You do want to take your time in developing your product, your service, whatever it is. Uh, and don't feel rushed because you do want to put out a good product. Most entrepreneurs are looking to help someone solve a problem. So when you when you have your solution, you want to make sure it's a solid solution. So take your time in developing. Product development does take a lot of time and research, but it's well worth it. It's well worth it in the end. And also knowing the time and the expense that goes into this, then you're not easily swayed to give someone the hookup, or you won't be talked into selling your product or your services for less than what it's actually valued and worth as well. So know your numbers, know your numbers. And those change, especially right now with the economy, those change. And the same thing with candling, the numbers have definitely changed. So you just have to stay on top of those.
And that's interesting.
Numbers.
And you gave a lot of game there talking about not only just knowing how much each part of your product costs you, but also your time.
Yes.
So the time you put in to do this, that comes in when you are pricing different products as well. So that's interesting that you bring that up. And it's important that young entrepreneurs know that, and older entrepreneurs. And so you must understand that in this economy, inflation, the price of things go up. So some of the things that you would get and pay for to make your products, they cost more. And so because they cost more, the cost of your products may have to increase as well. When you're trying to sell products, that may have to increase as well. So keep that in mind so that you can stay profitable, so that you can stay in the green and cash flowing at the end of every month or at the end of every week, so to speak. And so what's interesting is with this product, I see labels on here. And of course, like I told you, I will put pictures on here. I see labeling on here and a few other things. But when it comes to this labeling, what technology or what equipment are you using? Because you didn't just throw this together. There's a lot of attention and detail and pictures and art. So what are you using with your products?
Okay, so as you said, there's labeling, and with this, and again, going back to expenses, overhead costs, finances, um, labels. So while I do have this great idea to make candles, I am required to place a label of what this is. If this is a hand poured, handmade candle, I can put that on there. What type of wax I use, which I use soy, how much this weighs, and what the scent is, and of course, my logo and my company name. But also at the bottom, very important, also how to take care of the candle. There's basically a warning label of letting you know how to enjoy this candle safely. So, that is what's required. Now, with these I purchased. I stopped making. I used to make my own warning labels, but as business went on, I had to pick and choose what I wanted to do myself and what I would pay someone else to do. As you know, you'll hear the comment or the phrase "pick a struggle." So, but honestly, it was to pick what was going to free up my time. And so I love creating, as we talked about earlier. So I loved creating my labels. And so I use Canva to create my labels. I love Canva. I've used Canva for about over 8 years now. I love it because you can create practically anything. But for me, it's my candle labels. I can make a custom size. I can use whatever they have. So I format my labels to what size I want them to be. And then I hop over to Avery Labels, avery.com, and I upload my design there, and then I print them out onto the label. And then once my printer prints it out, I peel the labels and place it on my jars.
You know what's interesting is that's a lot of good information, and some people may know about these different platforms, and some people may not have any idea about these different platforms and how you're doing what you're doing. And of course, when they see the pictures, they'll see more detail about it and the creativity that you put in with the labeling and how you even write in the font of your name brand, Posh Lifestyle Company. And so, what I'm looking at is when you mentioned Canva, and then you
Yes.
said you hop over to where?
Avery.
Avery. I've
Avery.
never been on Avery. I tried to do Canva. I am not artistic. So, when you talk about choosing your struggle, for right now, not always, but for right now, I just don't want to deal with Canva. So even with some of the things that I do, I have reached out to her as a contract, and so she helps me out. Not only, well, I don't need necessarily labels right now, but when it comes to like thumbnails, if you are a podcaster or if you're doing videos online and you want to be able to put creative thumbnails up there for people to click on or draw attention to your videos, I don't do mine. Well, some of them I have, and of course, you'll see which ones I did. But a lot of thumbnails more recently, she's done for me. So not only are you doing products, but you provide services, and so that kind of falls in what we would call what the digital.
Digital, yes.
So tell me a little bit about that.
In my journey, I've been able to help people start businesses. I've learned how to create digital products such as ebooks, planners, calendars, also thumbnails, any type of pretty much any digital marketing thing that you need. I've learned how to create. Um, on this path. So, like I said, with the pros and the cons, you're constantly learning a lot, and those things that you learn could potentially turn into another stream of revenue. And being on Canva is amazing, and you have a lot of options. We probably should do do a Canva, but also Canva. I created my logo on Canva. Canva also, you can create a branding kit specifically to your business, your niche. But there's a lot of different apps that you can use to keep your business going and thriving.
And I know you also make T-shirts,
Yes.
and so whenever you make T-shirts and you come up with designs and pictures, do you do the pictures or designs on Canva, or where do you do those at?
Yes. So I have I have about 5 different platforms that I use for designs. And Canva is one of them. I can get on there and create a new design, um, and change colors, change the font, create sayings, any type of graphic. Canva offers a lot. So
Okay.
I use it for a variety of things.
Okay. So as we continue to discuss entrepreneurship and the lifestyle of an entrepreneur, whether you're providing services, whether you're providing products, one thing you touched on before was when you moved and you had to relocate and some of the things you did to start up a business again, not necessarily start it up again, but get it going in a new environment. I found that interesting because you could have just given up and said, well, I'm no longer in this state. I'm in a new place. And so I would have to start over trying to get to know people, see if what I provide, if it's needed in this environment. So I found it interesting because you could have just thrown in the towel, but you had enough oomph in you, enough drive in you to kind of restart and get everything going again in that environment. And I'm wondering, like, why didn't you just say, well, I'm in a new environment, I have a job, I'm fine? What made you just say, no, I'm going to continue to move and continue to not, I would say, reinvent yourself with other products?
Well, first of all, it's in our blood. And there's one key factor that you need as an entrepreneur. There's this one characteristic called stick to itness. it is actually a word, and you can call it drive if you want, but there has to be some perseverance. And when you know that you're called to do something to solve an issue and to help other people, you're going to stick with it. You're going to find a way to continue to fulfill that purpose. And so for me, I couldn't just sit there and be comfortable and sit idly by when I know that I'm supposed to be creating something that makes a difference in other people's lives. So for me, as I was in this new state, my my cake business, actually my clientele changed from just being social and corporate events like weddings and things like that. My demographic changed to realtors.
Wow.
So realtors became my clientele because they were making sales and they wanted to gift the families different things like cookies, and I had house shaped cookies and it would say home sweet home. So even in that, I still found a way and had no idea that was an untapped market for me. So you're constantly growing and evolving and finding different ways to help people.
Okay, here's a big question.
Yes.
We know where
Bring
you
it.
currently are right now, but where would you like to take this Posh lifestyle brand and business? And we'll start with like within the next 6 months to a year, and then we'll go 5 years from now. Where are you trying to take it short term, and where do you see it going long term?
Oh, it's going big. It's going big. So I'm currently online, and I am within a few weeks. I'm going to be doing vendor pop ups. I'm so excited. Like I've been in this new town, and they have this event called Foster Fest, and it's a big deal to be a vendor there. You have to apply and get approved. Well, your girl has been approved. And so she, yes, cue the confetti. So I will be there. And then I actually have another vendor event after that. So I'm enjoying being in the vendor marketplace, pop up shops. And eventually I would love to be in boutiques, specialized boutique. Yes, yes. And there's a couple of other places, but I'm just going to keep that under my cap for now, or my headband, my bedazzled headband for now. But I would like to see Posh, and I can see Posh worldwide. I can see that. Mhm. I can see Posh in everyone's home.
Okay, okay. And that's interesting because as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you need to have short-term goals and you also need to have long-term goals. You need to have a plan on where you are now and where you plan on taking this further. So basically, what I hear is in the future, Posh is going to continue to be cash flowing. And
Yes.
so it will be accessible to many people, and so we'll have to definitely reconnect and see how these events went.
Yes.
And so that way you can give people pointers and tips when
I would
they
love
are
that.
going to these events,
Yes.
what they need to be doing, what they need to be prepared for, how they need to come equipped,
Yes.
understanding spacing and planning for all of that.
Yes.
And being in those environments. So it should be an interesting conversation. And as an entrepreneur, we talked about pros and cons.
Mhm.
We talked about the good and the bad. We talked about relocating. We talked about the different types of products that you sell. And so I think what's interesting is no matter what culture or environment that you're put in, your products are needed and are used in different cultures and environment. I don't care if you're in the light or if you're in the dark. Most people have a candle in their house. And so we know that sometimes the lights go out in the South because
Storms,
hurricanes,
yes.
storms, and all of that. And it's always good to have a candle nearby. But while a candle is nearby, you might as well have it look cute. You might as well have it look good and smell good
Wouldn't you
too.
want your house to be scented as well while you're sitting in the dark? Why not add a little something to it? You know?
So have you thought about the fact that what you provide, and not just candles, but like you said, perfume as well, digital services. Have you thought about the fact, no matter where you are, that somebody is going to need these products?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, being in the South, people we can make sure we have our candles and flashlights and things like that. So, um, it's this is universal. I think about also when people want to just relax, they come home and want to read a book. Like I shared earlier, bathtub, a bubble bath, just productivity. Sometimes lighting this, it changes a space. Um, it will take you back to being on that church pew with grandma. So candles are going to be here a while and forever. I love mine because they're clean burning, they're environmentally safe, paraben free. I also have an odor eliminator, so they smell good, but they also eliminate odors.
What is
They
paraben?
emit.
Does
See,
anybody
and
know
this is
what paraben is?
and this is why it is important to know your product and to know what you're bringing to the world, to people when you're solving their solution. It just comes down to the clean burning and paraben free of not having carcinogens in the air, and carcinogens are cancer causing agents.
Oh,
So you
okay.
want to still enjoy your candle and enjoy all that a candle does for you with less risk.
Entrepreneurs, know what is in your product.
Yes.
Know parabens and carcinogens and all of that stuff. Make sure you know it's in your product, and make sure
Yes.
that you can explain that to people as well as they ask, because they may have those questions. Now I'm going to hop around because I do know you make, like I said, clothes
Yes.
as well, t-shirts or hoodies and different things. So, and of course, everybody needs clothes everywhere. What I'll put it. Do you ever make T-shirts for like special occasions or for certain groups of people?
I'm so glad you asked. The answer is yes. And yes. Yes. So I make t-shirts for the holidays, so you're the most fashionable and festive in the room. But also, we have football camps where I moved to. I'm constantly commissioned for special events. We had there was a Christmas event called the Night Before Christmas, and so I was commissioned to make shirts for the team that was hosting that. So it just ranges. There's pageants, and they want all of the beauty queens to have that pageant systems T-shirt design on the shirts. So it just depends with sports, pageants, you name it.
If people have speaking engagements and they want to put something
Yes.
special, I think I had a speaking engagement and I had you make a shirt for me as well that I wore. So you guys, all I'm telling you is, if you have an idea, or if you're having like a family get together, family reunion,
reunions,
or sporting
yes,
events, get with her, let her know the
yes,
theme, what you're trying to do, get those designs made. She'll ship those shirts out to you.
absolutely.
And of course, they're not going to be free. We want to pay for for good product.
Did I mention 2 children in college, 1 in private school?
Exactly.
Just saying, tuition.
So guys,
Somebody's got to pay it.
definitely get
Yes.
that hookup and get these amazing clothes as well, and great products. And of course, like I said, I wear them for myself and when I have speaking engagements as well. So you want to get connected with that. But this has definitely been a lot of fun, and there's no way that we can cover everything that she does, everything that her hands touch, and the success that she's having with products. So we'll have to definitely come back and do it again. But before we go, is there anything that you would like to say to aspiring entrepreneurs and other people who are out there making products as well?
So I would first like to say to that young girl who may seem to be so different and may seem like no one gets it, I want you to know that it's only for you to get, because it's for you to create. And once you do create it, it will be embraced. It will be embraced and it'll be so needed. Continue to push and persevere. It'll be so worth it in the end. For my budding entrepreneurs, keep going, learn your product, whatever it is, learn the materials, the ingredients. If it's something that's, something edible, learn what supplies, learn everything you possibly can to make a good product. And it's okay to start with one thing. It's okay to just serve one group, one demographic, one niche. You don't try to serve everything. You're going to burn yourself out. Ask me how I know.
Burn.
You don't want to just take your time. I promise you, your audience, your avatar, as they call it, your person, your customers, your clients, they are there. And just keep at it. It's a wild, crazy ride, but hang in there and just, I went from being thriving to having to relocate and pivot my business, and you just keep going and just know that you have been created to create, and you will find your footing, you will find your niche. Just keep at it.
Also, if anyone's interested in looking at these products or following you on different platforms,
Yes.
So following you on different platforms, and also most importantly going to purchase some products, how can they stay connected with you?
Okay, so let's stay social on Facebook and Instagram. So on Facebook, it is The Posh Lifestyle. And on Instagram, it is Posh Lifestyle Co. And then on my website, it is www.poshlifestyleco.com.
So we have those, and I'll make sure that we put those in there as well. And I know we will, because I'm just going to have her do the digital part of it. And then, so she does the digital for me. So I'll have to make sure that those are in there as well. But it's definitely been a pleasure talking to you about the mentality and the lifestyle of an entrepreneur, being able to juggle everything, even working a 9-to-5. It's possible to do both, and it's a benefit to do both because you will meet people that will connect with your business and what you do outside of your 9-to-5. Mm-hmm. And so those who are doing both right now, your W-2 job, that environment will also allow you to network and connect with people that may need your products and your services as well. So they all work in hand together, and they work together. It's all intertwined. But I definitely appreciate everyone tuning in to Coach Steele's finance training. I look forward to having many more interviews, and we'll continue to stay connected and updated with our entrepreneurs that we interview. I plan on having many, many more. But once again, do not forget, ladies and gentlemen, like, subscribe, share, comment, show this to someone else. We have a lot of great information coming forward, and I appreciate everyone tuning in. It has been a blessing. It has been a blessing. And remember, go get you some candles and some perfume, and have an amazing day. Thank you.